What up, YouTube? This is Strident here, and I am reviewing I Am Number Four, like it says. Um, Holy shit. Probably the best thing I've seen all year so far. I mean, it's only March in a day. Anyway, I went with my brother, my good friend, and my son, who just turned 9 on Sunday. All pleasantly surprised at this film. Um, The film is directed by DJ Caruso, who directed Eagle Eye and Disturbia. I wasn't big fans of either of them. They were, eh. But I dug a little bit further and I found out that previously he directed High Incident. High Incident was an awesome police drama from the early mid 90s, about 96. And he also directed my hero, Sammo Hung, in Martial Law. Now, Martial Law was a martial arts based police drama, and it was pretty cool. It's pretty inventive. But the way it was directed was extremely clear, and Sammo has a choreography style that is very in your face and hard hitting, and people get hurt a lot. And if they fake it, it still looks very convincing. And I'm pretty sure that these stuntmen really work for that pay. But anyway, that really shows in this film. So overall, the premise of the film is 9 aliens from the planet Lorien flee the destruction of their planet at the hands of the Mongadorians, these huge shark-faced uh, Star Trek, new Star Trek villain-looking 7-foot tall monstrosities. Uh, they escape them, come to Earth to further the survival of their race. And apparently 3 of them get killed, one of which you see in the very beginning of the film. So 1, 2, and 3 are dead. And you still have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. The story centers around number 4, like the title. Name is John, or the name that he's chosen this time is John. And John is protected by Henry. Henry is not one of the special, numbered aliens. He is a guardian. So he's going to train number 4 in, the ways of battle and teach him how to use his gifts. Pretty much the movie has a really awesome, intense kind of plot going on where it's a constant, blend in, don't show yourself. But if you do, you have to pack up and leave, move to the next spot. So they constantly are moving. So it's kind of intense that, if something happens that reveals this alien character to the masses, that he's something more than a human being, shit, you gotta up and leave. So kind of creates a little bit of stress for your main character where he wants to kind of blend in and be normal, to some degree, but he clearly is not. Anyway, you pretty much focus the mid portion of the movie, the body of the film is focused on number 4's alien puberty, which is probably the only weak part of the film. All the acting is awesome. Timothy Olyphant, who plays Henry, does a good job. I typically don't like him in movies because he's too soft, but in this movie he was perfect. He was pretty confident, and he looked pretty, I don't know, strong, like someone you wouldn't want to screw with. But at the same time, he came off pretty, fatherly and pretty, intelligent. He didn't seem like just a dumb, pretty dude. Same goes for Alex Pettyfer. He's pretty good at this. He made the whole action hero thing work in a different way because he's a little younger than the action heroes that guys like us are used to, or fans of action films like us are used to. I kept thinking he was channeling, like, I don't know, Captain America or Aquaman. I kept saying, "Go Aquaman, go," because he's got the whole Golden Boy thing going on. But anyway, he did a good job. He didn't seem cheesy. He didn't seem like one of those rejects from the Twilight films. And in the action scenes, you're going to hear me harp a lot about the action because I'm an action junkie. And not too often is action done well to this level. But holy shit. The action sequences, my God. DJ Caruso did an amazing job. He didn't use any tricks to hide the action. He pretty much like reveled in the action. put the action right up in your face and made you see how well he can handle action. And you know, I love. There's a lot of movies that I love that use action, but they do this shaky cam bullshit, and it pisses me off. You know, from the Dark Knight to the Bourne films, it's like I want to see what these badasses are doing, and you don't get to see that. Now, as I stated before, DJ Caruso he directed other fighters, which brings me to the next portion of this review, which is the choreography. The choreography was insane, and it was done by Brad Allen. Brad Allen was the guy that Jackie Chan fought in Gorgeous. He was the final. He fought him a couple times. He lost to him once, then he fights him in the end, and it's an amazing fight. Probably up there in my top 10 or top 20 fights. It's got to be up there. This dude's amazing. He's part of Jackie's stunt team, and I think at one point in time he was supposed to be Jackie's protege. I don't know what happened because I haven't seen him as the star, but anyway, that's besides the point. His action directing skills are amazing. He was the action director on Hellboy 2, and if you remember, Hellboy 1, he was very stiff and kind of slugging it out with people. Hellboy 2, he was mobile and he was jumping around and he was doing combos and he was doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and putting people in leg locks and shooting in on people and spearing folks and stuff. And it was crazy because you're like, how's Hellboy handling these smaller people? Well, in this film, he let his imagination loose. Now, I noticed that the reviews for this film are just kind of, a lot of people weren't feeling it, but I understand that it was aimed at the Twilight demographic. But the one thing Twilight can't seem to pull off is the action. And most of the time, you don't give a shit about those characters. In this, if you're a guy and you end up going to see this, you're going to be like, okay, it is kind of weird when you're not the kid that goes with the mainstream. You know, you do kind of get shat on. You see this in this film. Even though you're looking at this dude who looks like a freaking Calvin Klein model or some shit, still, he was the outsider and he gets treated as such. And he knows he's an outsider. So you kind of can kind of feel that part. But I mean, not enough that you're going to be like, oh, but I mean, you feel it enough that you're like, okay, I get where you're coming from. You see the whole, alien falling for a human. And in this case, when these guys fall in love, it's forever. So, there's that little touch. So if you bring your girlfriend, instant, you know what? That's like a 2 thumbs up piece right there. Bring them with you, 2 thumbs up. But overall, the movie is pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. I was pleasantly surprised, and the action had me completely amazed. There's really nothing more I can say. Every character did their thing. The end action sequence, oh my goodness. I almost didn't see this movie because on the surface it looked like Twilight with aliens and superpowers. And I almost didn't see this movie until I watched Jeremy John's review. And big ups to Jeremy John because he was 100% correct. He was 300% correct. He said the last portion of this movie, the finale, is worth the price of admission. You were not lying, sir. You were not lying. The end of this movie blows away the finales of all 3 X-Men films, Superman. It even, honestly, action-wise, blows away The Dark Knight. It was one of those movies where I wasn't expecting this kind of action in this film because it didn't seem like it was that serious. And when you see what they pull off, it's like, holy shit, why aren't costume superheroes doing this kind of stuff? You could easily swap them in and out with, if you need to do CG or if you need stuntmen that are actually capable of this stuff as opposed to the main actor, you can swap them out because they're behind a mask and a costume. In this case, dude was in regular clothes and the stuff he was pulling out was like Marvel versus Capcom. It was ridiculous. There's actually a bunch of tag team action going on between him and another character with powers, swapping in and out with powers and the whole 9, and it is a sight to behold because I've yet to see this on screen. I'm telling you, Marvel, DC, you need to step your game up because this is how you do superhero action. The way the movie ends, it sets up for a sequel. I read that the books were planned you know, in segments. So there's more or in installations. I'm sorry, not segments. There are more parts to this story, and the focus jumps from character to character. So focus was on 4 in this one. The next one was supposed to be, I think, 6, and then 7, and then whatever. So yeah, if you feel like watching a good action movie with the old school style where the story is kind of and it takes a second seat to the action, then hey, this is what you need to see. Because if you're like me, we watch Hong Kong action films, and a lot of Hong Kong action films are straight booty when it comes to the story. They don't even try, but the action, whew, that's what gets you. But in this case, the story is not horrible. It's just another high school drama, and we've seen enough of that. But in this case, sit through it. You will be pleasantly surprised at what you get at the end. Despite all the reviews you might read, Rotten Tomatoes and all that stuff, I'm finding those cats don't really know what's up. Go see this flick. I promise you will at least like the opening scene, some scenes in the center, and the very end will blow you the fuck away. Anyway, I'm Strident. If you like what you just heard and you like what I've had to say, period, all across the board, please subscribe, click the like button, comment as always, let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Peace.